What the hell? Let's make a video about the 2016 Eagles and wrap up this season that was. What a season it was. And to end things off, I was at the Dallas Eagles game last Sunday. Sorry, I got a little bit of a cold and I'm coming over here. Getting over here. Whatever, I can't even think straight. I was at the Eagles Dallas game this past Sunday, and the Eagles won, if you want to call it that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, screw you, Cowboys, yeah, suck it, because you beat the B team. You beat the B team. I'm not going to play the Sixer song for something like that or anything, but it was an interesting game. It was nice to see Tony Romo come in and actually boo. That was the first time I got to boo Tony Romo in person, which you saw that video. Hopefully I uploaded Sunday afternoon from the game. But you know, the same questions are still there because I'm watching the game and I'm just like, I'm sitting there with my friend watching the game and I'm just like, halfway through the third quarter, I'm like, do the wide receivers on the Eagles even have 3 total combined receptions in this game? I was like, because I knew Zach Ertz has like at least a dozen, and the other tight ends have at least another half dozen. Like, where are the wide receivers in this game? I know Aguilar got hurt in the first quarter, which was heartbreaking. Can't say anyone was cheering in the crowd. Okay, we won't go there. But all the same questions I had through this season were like still there coming out of this game. And, you know, even though they won the game, you barely beat the B team Dallas Cowboys. Like, you barely won. The only reason why you're up by more than a touchdown is because Sanchez decided to do a negative 20-yard scramble and take a sack at the 2-yard line, setting up a short distance punt that got blocked, and then that sets the Eagles up for the easy score with a few minutes left. But you beat the Cowboys B team by a touchdown. So I would like to say, oh, it's good that we ended on a high note, beating the Giants, beating Dallas, but I'm like, yeah. That's kind of my feeling from the whole season. It's just like, yeah. But there is things to feel positive about coming out of this season. We have a quarterback. We have a quarterback. And you haven't been able to say that since McNabb was on this team. Since 5 was loving you. You haven't been able to say that since 5 was here. We got a quarterback. This kid is the real deal. This kid is money. This kid is hopefully going to take us to the promised land, or else I promise you I will jump off the Ben Franklin Bridge. Without a rope. Anyway. Actually, I guess jumping off with a rope would hurt you either way, wouldn't it? Bungee cord, I should have said. Going into next season, I'm like, okay, who's our running back going to be? Who's our wide receivers going to be? What's our secondary going to look like? And I'm like, well, damn, we need all 3 of those addressed. You know, don't get me wrong, there's guys like Malcolm Jenkins and Calvin looks pretty decent. So there's pieces in the secondary, but you got no corners. You got no corners. You got no wide receivers. You hopefully have Lane Johnson for an entire season because he is a bookend that you need on this team to stop taking PEDs. Matthews is probably going, and I hate to say it, Darren Sproles is going to be gone. Darren Sproles is going to be gone, probably, and I love Sproles, and he's that playmaker out of nowhere when you least expect it, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him get cut, man. He's 34 going into 35 years of age, and you know, is it really worth keeping that contract around? Guys like Connor Barwin, who I was saying in this Dallas game, I was like, This dude better show up to play if he really wants to earn his worth on this team. That Dallas game, he had B-team benchers faced against him. He still couldn't get to Sanchez. Sanchez, dude! He's got a few disruptions, but I was like, Connor Barwin better have the game of his career if he wants to earn a spot on this team next year. I'm sorry, but you and your salary, hit the bricks, Junior. Whole bunch of nothing this year. Whole bunch of nothing this year from you. So, but we have the quarterback. We have the quarterback. I have to keep telling myself that because right now that's all I feel really good about, because going into this season I felt really good about this defensive line, and now I'm just like, well, Fletcher Cox has been irrelevant in quite a few games, more so than I would expect, and Benny Logan's looking like, wow, do you really want to put money into re-signing him? You know, man, it's like things you thought were strong look weaker than they did at the start of the season. But, I mean, who knows? I mean, you look at a team like the Giants that went from giving up 50 their defense gave up 50 touchdowns last season, well, the 2015 season, to this year giving up 25. They cut their number in half by spending on the defense primarily. So, I mean, you know, defenses can be turned around in a season. It's really not that hard to do if you know what you're doing. The problem is you need to know what you're doing. You can't draft a Marcus Smith in the first round. All right? And that brings us to the draft. I want to see them go after defense. I want to see just a corner that can play from the get-go. As I'm dying. I know. Thinking that they're going to draft a corner that can, you know, play from the get-go is just almost killed me. Anyway, I don't know, get a defensive end that can I don't know, people. What do I know? What do I know? I sit in front of a Homer Simpson doll and talk to you guys. What do I know? All I know is that this season, well, a lot of you would say, well, you said this was a 6-win team. You didn't have playoff aspirations or anything. And I was like, no, I didn't. So I guess they met my expectations. +1, if you want to count that last game as a win. I was against the Carson Wentz trade. I'm just going to address everything that I was like against that turned out to, you know, be better than I expected. I was against the Carson Wentz trade. I'm glad they did that. I don't think they gave up too much in retrospect now. I was kind of like, oh boy. Oh man. And then, this kid has been so tough. Now granted, I think it's dumb coaching to have him throw as much as they have had him do. I would not throw a rookie quarterback out there to break the single season pass attempts record. I wasn't down with that. I think we're lucky that he didn't get a significant injury this year. But the kid is tough. The kid is tough. Maybe he's going to be like, you know, a Ben Roethlisberger tough guy quarterback with faster feet. I'll take that. I was against DeMarco Murray. I was against DeMarco Murray getting shuttled off this team because, man, I was excited to see how he would look in a non-Chip Kelly run system. And they sent him to the Titans. And he looks good. LaShawn McCoy on Buffalo still looks good. Deshaun Jackson on the Redskins still looks good. Chip Kelly, his job with the San Francisco 49ers, it's not looking good because he got fired. What a great start. What a great start to 2017. The first day of the year to receive the news that Chip Kelly got fired. But you know what? I'm mentioning this one last time because the complaining about Chip Kelly and what he did to this Eagles team ends. All right? You have one season to recover, in my book, from what the previous coach did to you. The next season, it's all on you. There's no complaining about, trading this guy for that guy or cutting that guy for nothing or anything like that anymore. Doug, figure this shit out. Howie, figure this shit out. Even Howie in the press conferences lately, he still sounds like a bitter, broken up bitch over Chip Kelly. Like he sounds like he got dumped at the prom. Like he sounds like he has that attitude. Anyway, we got the quarterback. That's what I'm resting on, guys. And sometimes that's all you need, right? All right, you need a lot more than that, but overall, I shall say I'm not mad with this season. I'm not mad with this season because, frankly, I'm an all or nothing type of guy. It's put a Super Bowl ring on the Eagles' fingers, or don't give me anything at all. Well, not that drastic, but I didn't have Super Bowl aspirations coming into this season, so it's realistic to think that they were going to get rings, but they got to start showing me that they're going to be this team that shows up against the Seattles of the league or the Patriots. I know Chip Kelly beat the Patriots, but who cares? Who cares? That was a fluky win with a pick six and a kick return touchdown, a bunch of other crazy things that you can't rely on in a game. Next year, I want to see this team at least be competitive with those more elite teams in the league. Anyway, solid season. Zach Ertz, I wish you could play like you did in the Dallas game in games that actually count. It's another guy I thought he was going to be a stud tight end this year. Stud tight end, but Mr. I catch the ball and fall down immediately. Darrell Green Beckham. I thought you were going to be just, Mr. Fade Route, Mr. Teardrop Pass into the end zone back corner, posting up, pulling in TDs, tapping the tippy toes in the corner of the end zone type wide receiver. Man, you suck. You suck. The ball gets thrown your way, the ball hits you in the mask, and then 5 seconds later, you raise your hands up to catch it. This guy sucks. Thank God we only got rid of Dennis Kelly for this pile of shit. Anyways, goodbye. Say goodbye to his salary. But again, that's like another wide receiver spot you have to fill on this team. And Nelson Aguilar is going to be here next year, whether you like it or not, because it's less expensive to keep him than it is to cut him. That's just great. That's just great. So. And offensive line-wise, Jason Peters, well exceeded what I thought I was going to see out of him this season. Holy shit. Pro Bowl season certified. I expected him to have a season-ending injury by at least week 6 or 7, but he was solid through the whole season. He still had a few nagging aches and pains that had tapped out a few games, but still solid. Bookend, man. God, if you can keep him and Lane Johnson from not taking PEDs and get them both stay on the line. God damn it, Lane. You really messed up this season, dude. You really messed up this season because I don't think they're losing that Detroit game. And that Detroit game after the bye, week 4, that was the turn of the whole season. Besides ending that 3-game win streak, you go into the bye week 4, go into Detroit, and I know it's more on Matthews fumbling than Lane Johnson not being there, but man, a lot of heartbreaks and see, that's the thing too, is that this season it's like, the Eagles were there. I know there's no moral victories. Moral victories equal 0 in the real world, but the Eagles were in so many games They should have won that game in Dallas. They should have won that game in Detroit. You know, shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but didn't us. I know moral victories don't mean anything, but God, it's like you figure they're a thing or two away from being tweaked, and then they're that 10-11 win team. Anyways, disappointed in the season, satisfied in other ways of the season. A 7-win team. No more or less wins than what you got last year with Chip Kelly on this team. I'll just end on one final note. Because I know the Dallas Cowboy fans, many of which have just created a YouTube account like this past December. I know you're in the playoffs and we're sitting at home watching you, but I just want to know one thing. Can you guys beat the Giants? Because we can. I know, that sticks up your crawl, doesn't it? Sticks up your crawl. Oh, just one last thing, Dallas Cowboys fans. When you guys, the last time you were 13-3, what happened? That's right, you got one and done by the Giants. And T.O., that's my team, that's my quarterback. Get back to me when you're at least 14-3. Until then, I can't say, because my New Year's resolution to not drop F-bombs anymore. But what good are resolutions if they're not to be broken? Fuck the Dallas Cowboys. Have a good day, everyone.